Let me ask you something. How do you feel when you open your utility bill every month? Does it feel like you're watching money just vanish into thin air? If it does, you're not alone. Across the country, families are struggling to keep up with the rising costs of electricity and water. These bills are creeping up every month, and most people just accept it as a fact of life. But let me tell you something. You don't have to accept it. That bill doesn't have to control your life. It's time for you to take back control. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're pouring a glass of water from your faucet, but instead of stopping when the glass is full, you just let the water run and overflow all over the counter.
Ridiculous, right? But that's exactly what's happening every day in your home when you leave lights on in empty rooms. Crank the thermostat too high or too low, or let a dripping faucet waste water.
It's money, your hard-earned money, spilling over the counter and going straight down the drain. Now, here's the thing. Saving electricity and water isn't just about trimming a few bucks off your bill each month. It's about changing your mindset. It's about understanding that every dollar you save on utilities is a dollar you can put towards something that matters.
Maybe it's paying down debt. Maybe it's building an emergency fund.
Maybe it's setting aside money for your kids' college tuition. Whatever your goal, every dollar counts. And here's the kicker. If you don't start making changes now, you're going to keep paying for the privilege of being careless.
Do you really want to keep handing your paycheck over to the power company and the water utility when you could be using that money to build your future?
I know what some of you are thinking, Dave. It's just a few bucks.
What's the big deal? Well, let me break it down for you.
Let's say you save $50 a month by being smarter about your energy and water usage. That's $600 a year. Over 5 years, that's $3,000. Now imagine you took that $3,000 and invested it wisely. Over time, that small change can grow into something much bigger. It's not just about the money you save today. It's about the opportunities you create for yourself tomorrow. And don't fall for the excuse that saving money on utilities means you have to live like a caveman. Nobody's asking you to sit in the dark or shower once a week. What I'm asking you to do is be intentional. Think about your habits. Turn off the lights when you leave the room. Adjust your thermostat to a reasonable level. Fix that leaky faucet. Small changes over time add up to big results. Here's the truth. If you're not managing your money is managing you. And your utility bill is one of the easiest places to start. So what's it going to be? Are you going to let that bill control your paycheck, or are you going to take charge?
The choice is yours. But let me tell you this, when you start taking these small intentional steps to cut down on waste, you're not just saving money. You're building discipline.
You're creating habits that will carry over into every part of your financial life. And that, my friends, is where real freedom begins. So stop making excuses. Stop throwing money away on waste. Start making a plan today.
Because every dollar you save is a step closer to financial peace. And that's a journey worth taking.
Let's talk about something that most people get wrong when it comes to money. The mindset behind saving. For some reason, a lot of folks think saving money, whether it's on your utility bill or anywhere else, is about sacrifice. They picture a life of misery, sitting in a freezing cold house, eating ramen noodles by candlelight, and pinching pennies until your fingers hurt. Let me tell you something. That's not what saving is about. Saving isn't about deprivation. It's about making smart choices. It's about deciding where your money goes instead of letting it decide for you. Here's the deal. Every time you save a dollar, you're giving that dollar a purpose. Instead of paying it to the electric company for power you didn't even need, you're putting it toward your dream.
You're turning that dollar into a tool that works for you. And guess what? That's what wealthy people do. They don't just let money slip through their fingers like sand. They tell their money where to go and what to do, and they make it work for them.
That's the mindset I want you to have. Let's get real for a second. How many of you have looked at your utility bill and just shrugged, thinking it is what it is. Stop that. Stop thinking that way. Your utility bill isn't some mysterious, uncontrollable force of nature. It's the result of choices, your choices. And the good news is you can make different choices starting right now. You have the power to control this. You have the power to control this. You have the power to take that bill and shrink it down to a size that works for your budget.
Now, here's where it gets exciting. When you start saving money, even in small amounts, you create momentum. It's like pushing a snowball down a hill.
At first, it's just a little ball, but as it rolls, it picks up more snow, it gets bigger, and before you know it, you've got an avalanche of progress. That's how wealth building works. It starts with something small, like turning off the lights when you leave a room or fixing a leaky faucet.
But over time, those small actions add up. They become habits, and those habits become a lifestyle.
Let me give you an example. If you save $25 a month on your water bill by being more mindful about how much water you use, that's $300 a year. Now, imagine you save another $50 a month on your electricity bill. That's $600 a year. Put them together and you've saved $900. That's $900 you didn't have to earn. $900 that's not being wasted. $900 that you can use to pay off debt, build your emergency fund, or even start investing.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Saving money isn't just about cutting costs. It's about creating opportunities.
But here's the thing. You have to believe it's possible. You have to stop thinking of saving as a chore and start thinking of it as a way to take control of your life. Because let's face it, if you can't control your utility bill, how are you going to control the bigger financial challenges that come your way? If you can't make the small changes, how are you going to handle the big ones? Saving is about more than money. It's about discipline. It's about focus. It's about proving to yourself that you're in charge of your finances, not the other way around.
So let me ask you, are you ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck? Are you ready to stop wasting your hard-earned money on things you don't even think about? Are you ready to take the first step toward building wealth? If the answer is yes, then it's time to shift your mindset. It's time to stop thinking of saving as a burden and start seeing it as a blessing. Because every dollar you save today is a dollar that can change your future. And if that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. Now go out there and take action. Start small, start today, but most importantly, start. Because when you take control of your money, you take control of your life. And that, my friends, is where financial peace begins. Let me tell you something. Your electric bill isn't just a number at the bottom of a statement. It's a reflection of how intentional or unintentional you've been with your habits.
That's right. Every watt, every dollar, every kilowatt hour comes down to choices you've made, whether you realize it or not. And the good news is you have the power, pun intended, to take control of it starting today. This isn't rocket science, folks. It's simple, practical steps that can put money back in your pocket where it belongs. Are you ready to get intentional about your electricity usage? Let's do this.
First things first. Stop treating your light switch like it's attached to someone else's wallet. How many times have you walked into an empty room and found the lights blazing away like it's the middle of Times Square? If that's happening in your house, let me be clear. You're burning your own money for no reason. Make it a habit. No, a rule to turn off the lights when you leave a room. Teach your kids to do it. Teach your spouse to do it. Heck, teach the dog to do it if you can. This is one of the easiest changes you can make, and it costs you nothing. That's what I call a win. Win. Next up, let's talk about your thermostat. Some of you are treating it like a roller coaster, cranking it up and down every time you feel a little hot or cold. Let me tell you, that's not just inefficient, it's expensive. Instead, set it and forget it. In the summer, keep it at 70, 8 def. In the winter, 68 def is your magic number. You might feel a little uncomfortable for a day or two, but guess what? You'll survive. Wear a sweater. Use a fan. Do whatever you've got to do to keep that thermostat steady, because every degree you adjust can make a big difference on your bill. And if you really want to level up, get yourself a programmable thermostat that adjusts automatically. It's a small investment that pays off in no time. Now, let's talk about those sneaky little electricity vampires lurking in your house. I'm talking about all those devices that suck up power even when you're not using them. TVs, game consoles, chargers, coffee makers. They're all guilty. If it's plugged in, it's costing you money even when it's off. So what do? Unplug it. Or better yet, get a power strip with an off switch and use it to shut everything down when you're not using it. Trust me, you're not going to miss the convenience of leaving things plugged in when you see the savings on your next bill. Another big one, appliances. Some of you are running your dishwasher half empty and doing laundry every day, like you're running a hotel. Stop it. Wait until you've got a full load before you hit start. And for the love of all things frugal, use cold water whenever you can. Heating water is one of the most expensive things your electric bill is covering, and you can slash that cost just by making the switch to cold. Your clothes will still get clean, your dishes will still sparkle, and your wallet will thank you. And let's not forget about lighting. If you're still using those old incandescent bulbs, you might as well be setting dollar bills on fire. Switch to LEDs. Yes, they cost a little more upfront, but they last longer and use a fraction of the electricity. It's like trading a gas guzzling sub for a hybrid. Over time, the savings are huge.
So go ahead, make the change. You'll never look back.
Finally, let's talk about insulation and weatherproofing.
I know it's not as exciting as turning off the lights or unplugging gadgets, but it's just as important. If your house isn't properly insulated, you're literally throwing money out the window.
Check your doors and windows for drafts and seal them up. Add insulation to your attic if it's needed.
These upgrades might cost you a little now, but they'll save you a fortune in the long run.
It's an investment in your home and your financial future.
Here's the bottom line. Cutting your electric bill isn't about living in the dark or sweating through the summer. It's about being intentional. It's about being intentional. It's about taking control of your habits and making smart choices that align with your goal. Every change you make, no matter how small, is a step toward financial freedom. And that's what this is all about, isn't it? Freedom, freedom, freedom from stress, freedom from worry, and freedom to use your money for the things that really matter.
So what are you waiting for? Start today. Walk through your house. Look at every light, every appliance, every outlet, and ask yourself, do I really need this on? Get intentional. Get disciplined. And watch how those small changes add up to big results. Because when you control your electricity, you're not just saving money. You're taking a step toward controlling your life. And that, my friends, is worth every penny. Water. It's one of those things we take for granted, isn't it? It's always there when we need it, flowing freely from the faucet, filling our sink, showers, and sprinklers. But let me ask you this. Have you ever stopped to think about how much that convenience is costing you? Every drop of water you use or waste shows up on your bill at the end of the month. And just like electricity, those costs can sneak up on you, eating away at your budget before you even realize it.
The good news, you don't have to keep letting your hard-earned dollars flow down the drain. It's time to get intentional about your water usage and start saving some serious money.
Let's start with the most basic thing, paying attention. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who leave the water running while they're brushing their teeth, scrubbing dishes, or shaving. Folks, let me spell this out for you.
That's money you're wasting, plain and simple. You don't need the water running full blast while you're not even using it. Turn it off. It's such a small action, but it makes a big difference.
A faucet running unnecessarily can waste gallons of water in just a few minutes. Over the course of a month, that's not just water going to waste. It's money. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather keep that money in my pocket. Now let's talk about leaks. Oh, the leaks. That little drip, drip, drip from your faucet or shower head might seem harmless, but it's not.
A single dripping faucet can waste more than 3,000 gallons of water in a year.
Think about that. Imagine pouring 3,000 gallons of water and the money it costs straight into your backyard for no reason. That's what's happening if you ignore a leak. So here's your first action step. Go through your house and check every faucet, shower head, and toilet. If it's leaking, fix it. A $5 washer from the hardware store can save you hundreds of dollars in wasted water.
That's what I call a great return on investment.
And speaking of toilets, let's get real for a second. If you're using an old, inefficient toilet that guzzles gallons of water with every flush, it's time to upgrade. Modern low-flow toilets use a fraction of the water and can save you big time over the years. Yeah, it's an upfront expense, but it's an investment that pays off. And while we're at it, let's talk about showers. Long, hot showers might feel great, but they're costing you more than you realize. Typical shower head uses 2.5 gallons of water per minute. That means a 10-minute shower uses 25 gallons of water. Multiply that by the number of people in your house and the number of showers they take, and you've got a river of water flowing straight to your utility bill. Switch to a water efficient shower head, and you can cut that usage in half without sacrificing comfort. Trust me, you won't even notice the difference except on your bill. Let's move outside. Some of you are watering your lawns like you're trying to grow a jungle in your backyard. Look, I get it. You want your grass to be green and lush, but there's a smart way to do it.
Water your lawn early in the morning or late in the evening to minimize evaporation. And here's a tip that will blow your mind. Your lawn doesn't need to be watered every single day.
Most lawns can thrive with just 1 or 2 deep waterings per week. Overwatering not only wastes water, but it can also damage your grass and plants.
So be intentional. Set a schedule, stick to it, and watch your water usage and your bill drop.
Now let's address the big picture. Being smart about water isn't just good for your wallet. It's good for the planet. Water is a precious resource, and wasting it isn't just costing you money. It's costing all of us in the long run. When you make the choice to use water wisely, you're doing your part to protect the environment and ensure that future generations have access to this vital resource. It's a win-win for everyone. Here's the bottom line. Water is money. Every gallon you save is $1 you can use for something more important, whether it's paying off debt, building an emergency fund, or just giving yourself some breathing room in your budget. So stop letting your money flow away. Take control of your water usage, just like you're taking control of your finances. Fix the leaks. Turn off the tap. Upgrade where it makes sense. And most importantly, make water conservation a habit. Because when you get intentional about the small things, like your water usage, you create space for big things to happen in your life. That's how you build financial peace, one drop at a time. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools you have in your financial arsenal, a budget.
Now, before you roll your eyes and start thinking,
Oh, here comes a lecture about spreadsheets and cutting back on everything I love. Let me stop you right there. A budget isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. It's about telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And if you want to get serious about slashing those utility bills, your electricity, your water, the whole thing, then you need a plan. A budget is that plan.
it's the road map that gets you from where you are to where you want to be, and it starts with taking control of your spend. Here's the thing. When you don't budget for your utility costs, they become this wild, unpredictable beast that takes a bigger and bigger bite out of your paycheck every month. But when you put those bills into your budget, you tame the beast.
You say, this is how much I'm willing to spend, and that's it. And trust me, when you give your money boundaries, it listens. That's the beauty of a budget. It gives you control.
Without it, you're just reacting to whatever number shows up on your bill. But with it, you're proactive. You're in charge. Let me show you how this works. Start by looking at your past utility bills. What's the average you've been spending on electricity and water each month? Write it down. Now set a goal to cut that number by 10, 20, maybe even more. That goal becomes your budget for the month. Let's say your average electric bill is $150. You decide you want to spend no more than $120 this month. Boom! That's your target. And now everything you do, turning off lights, unplugging devices, adjusting your thermostat, is working toward that goal. It's like a game, and every dollar you save is a win. But don't stop there. Track your progress. Keep an eye on your daily habits and make adjustments as needed. If you notice your thermostat is creeping up or you're running the dishwasher too often, rein it in.
This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Because here's the truth. You can't manage what you don't measure. When you track your spending and stick to your budget, you start to see real results. And let me tell you, there's nothing more motivating than watching your efforts pay off on that next bill. Now, some of you might be thinking, Dave, I can't control my utility costs that much. It's not like I can stop using electricity or water altogether. And you're right, you can't, but you can control how much you use and how much you pay. Think of it this way. Every dollar you save on utilities is a dollar you can use to build your financial future. It's a dollar that doesn't go to the power company or the water utility, but stays with you where it belongs. And over time, those dollars add up. They become the foundation of your emergency fund, your debt payoff plan, or your investment strategy. That's the power of a budget. But let's get practical. Once you've set your budget, make it visual. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day, on your fridge, your bathroom mirror, or the lock screen of your phone.
Remind yourself why you're doing this. Maybe it's to free up money for your kid's college fund. Maybe it's to save for that family vacation you've been dreaming about. Or maybe it's just to prove to yourself that you can take control of your finances.
Whatever your reason, keep it front and center. Because when you have a strong why, the how becomes a whole lot easier.
And here's the best part. Budgeting doesn't just help you save money. It helps you build confidence. Every time you stick to your budget and hit your goal, you're proving to yourself that you can do this that you can do this. You're creating momentum, and that momentum spills over into other areas of your life. Suddenly, you're not just cutting utility costs. You're finding ways to save on groceries, negotiate better deals, and eliminate waste in every part of your budget.
That's the domino effect of discipline. It starts small, but it grows into something life-changing. So let me ask you, are you ready to take control? Are you ready to stop being at the mercy of your utility bills and start setting the rules? If you are, then it's time to make a plan. Set a budget, stick to it, and watch what happens. Because when you take control of your money, you take control of your life. And isn't that what we're all after? Financial peace, one step at a time. It starts with a budget, and it starts with you. Now go make it happen. Let me tell you something important. The best time to take control of your finances isn't tomorrow, next week, or when things settle down. It's today, right now. Because here's the truth. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready.
The bills keep coming, the costs keep rising. And if you don't take action, your money will keep slipping through your fingers like sand. But you have a choice. You can let that happen. Or you can draw a line in the sand and say, enough is enough.
You can decide today to take control of your electricity, your water, and every dollar in your budget. And when you do, you're not just saving money. You're taking the first step towards something much bigger, financial freedom. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Dave, it's just a few bucks on my utility bill. How much of a difference can that really make? And I get it. Saving $20 here, $50 there might not seem like much in the grand scheme of things. But let me tell you something about money. It's not just about the dollars you save. It's about the discipline you build. Every small step you take is a step closer to a life where your money works for you, not the other way around. And those small wins, they add up. They build momentum. And before you know it, you're not just saving on your bills. You're paying off debt, building an emergency fund, and investing in your future. Here's what I want you to do. Start small, but start now. Walk through your house today and find one thing you can change. Maybe it's turning off lights in empty rooms. Maybe it's fixing that leaky faucet that's been wasting water for months.
Maybe it's adjusting your thermostat by just a couple of degrees. It doesn't matter how small the step is. What matters is that you take it, because every action you take, no matter how small, is proof that you're capable of change. It's proof that you're in control of your money and your life.
But don't stop there. Set a goal for this month. Maybe it's cutting your utility costs by 10. Maybe it's saving enough to put an extra payment towards your debt or boost your emergency fund. Write that goal down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day, and then commit to making it happen. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about progress. It's about showing up day after day and making choices that align with the future you want to build.
And let's not forget the bigger picture. This isn't just about saving money. It's about creating a life of freedom and peace. When you control your bills, you're not just lightening the load on your wallet, you're lightening the stress on your shoulder.
You're creating space for the things that really matter. Your family, your dreams, your future. That's what this is all about. It's not just about cutting costs. It's about building a life you're proud of.
So, what are you waiting for? The journey to financial freedom doesn't start with a lottery ticket or a big promotion.
It starts with you, right here, right now, taking control of the little thing. Because when you master the little things like your utility bills, you're laying the foundation for something much bigger. And let me tell you, that foundation is worth every bit of effort you put into it. You've got this. You're capable of more than you realize. And when you take control of your money, one small step at a time, you're not just saving dollars. You're creating a life of purpose, peace, and freedom. So go out there, start today, and make it happen. Because your future is worth it, and so are you.